Hi everyone, so welcome back to my channel. I'm really happy to finally be filming a video. If you don't follow this channel or are on the community tab, you would have seen that I had to have emergency surgery, which I'm going to talk a little bit about today, and that's why I haven't been filming any videos for you guys for at least, I think it's been a month since my last video. But I just wanted to say, before I get started with an update, I just wanted to say thank you so much if you're a new subscriber. I gained quite a few new subscribers and it's just been really nice to have like comments again. Whoa, it just suddenly got really bright. It's been really nice to have lots of comments again and just have little discussions and get to know people. I found some new book channels and yeah, it's just been a really good experience being back on YouTube, and I've had such a warm welcome, and I just want to say thank you. It keeps getting really bright and then going dark again, so I'm sorry if the lighting keeps changing. Yeah. If you want to find out more about just the book that is for July's book club book, if you didn't know, I have a book club on Goodreads. It's called Mix and Matching Book Club, where we read a mixture of genres, and I'm open to suggestions if you want to recommend a book for us to read. And yeah, I will talk about that in a bit. I'll timestamp it down below in the bio, and if you want to skip hearing anything about surgery, then I won't be offended. I'm just gonna have a little gin while I talk to you, hope you don't mind. Oh, that's so good. It's like rhubarb and ginger. Love it. So, what happened? So a couple weeks ago, it was a normal day. I'd just not really done much, and I went to bed as normal, and then I just had the worst stomach ache I've ever had. I was in so much pain, and it was all like my upper abdomen stomach, and at the time I didn't think it was anything serious. I just thought it was kind of pain in my head in a way, as I sometimes get that with my mental health problems. I feel pain when I'm not in pain, and it's all like PTSD related. So I just kind of thought it was that, and I was in a lot of pain, and it was like something was squeezing my muscles, and it was sharp and stabbing, and it was like going all around my back and like my rib cage, and it was just, oh, it was awful. And my boyfriend was asleep, and I didn't know what to do, so I called 111, which is like the emergency number in the UK, and explained all my symptoms, and they basically turned around and said, go straight to hospital right now, because it's upper abdominal pain and you don't know what's going on, and it could be really serious. So I was in so much pain, I was like, okay, gotta go. Woke my boyfriend up and we drove to the hospital. Luckily my nearest hospital is 20 minutes away, so not too far, and it was all really rushed and really scary, to be honest, because we turned up at the hospital and I forgot that because of coronavirus, he couldn't come in with me. So we went in, washed our hands, put the mask on, and someone literally came up straight away and ushered me in. And I thought my boyfriend would just be waiting in the waiting room and I'd see him in a minute kind of thing. Like when I've gone before, you kind of go in and come back out and then tell him what's going on kind of thing. No, none of that. That was the last time I saw him for 2 days, I think it was 2 days. Yeah, so that was kind of weird, and he, bless him, waited in the car park for 5 hours, and he kept asking reception what was going on and they wouldn't tell him. But basically I was rushed in and I was a bit delirious because I was in so much pain, just hobbling about like crouched over, and they attached me to a drip. They did some blood tests and were talking to me, and ended up doing an ECG and a scan, like a scan of my chest, and I was like, they weren't telling me what was going on, so I had no idea. My phone was dead. I wasn't expecting to be there for long. I thought that it was just gonna be a little checkup, see I was all right, and go home. I don't know why, I just didn't think it was serious, until one of the guys was like, one of the nurses was like, oh, we're not gonna give you any food in case we need to operate. And that's when I was like, what is going on? So the doctor came and did like another examination where they like press on your stomach and see how painful it is. And then after all the scans and ECGs and everything results came back, she was basically like, yeah, we think it's something to do with your gallbladder. Now, me being me, and I wasn't very good at biology, I didn't know what a gallbladder was, let alone that something could go wrong with it, or if you needed it, or anything. No information, didn't know anything. And they were like, yeah, it's something seriously wrong, we think, but you'll need an ultrasound. And the ultrasound people had already gone home because it was like 2, 3 a.m. at this point. And they were like, yeah, we'll get you a bed. And I hate hospitals. So I was rushed up to an emergency surgery ward, and that's when I knew I'm probably gonna have to have surgery. And it was quite traumatic, not gonna lie. So the next day I had an ultrasound in the morning, and they basically discovered that I definitely had some gallstones and some fluid leaking, or like fluid around. I don't really understand how ultrasounds work, but they could see that there was something definitely not okay. And then the doctor came up a couple hours later, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and said, we will be removing your gallbladder at 4 p.m. So I was quickly, after I charged my phone, texting people, telling them, you know, I'm having my gallbladder removed, and I didn't know necessarily what it meant. But basically what I had, I've got it written down because I never know how to pronounce it. Basically what I had was cholecystitis. I can't say that. Cholecystitis, which is basically the inflammation of your gallbladder. So it wasn't just gallstones, the whole bladder was inflamed and could basically rupture and leak bile into my liver and all sorts. Like, it could have been really serious. It was serious, and they were basically just whacking it out. So because of coronavirus, I could have no visitors. So my boyfriend couldn't come into the hospital even to drop off my stuff. The nurse had to meet him in the car park to drop off some stuff. And then, yeah, I was given a lot of painkillers, so like morphine and codeine and things like that. So I don't remember a lot of it. But there was one thing that was horrible about the surgery. And by the way, this isn't normal. This is because of coronavirus. I had to put myself on the operating table because the bit where they put you to sleep with a general anaesthetic, like the little room, that would be too much cleaning to always keep cleaning that one, and then the operating theatre. So basically I had to go in to the operating theatre. I saw my name on the board, I saw the students watching and all the instruments and tools, and I had to put myself on the bed. Now, that was scary, and it didn't hurt, obviously. I had keyhole surgery to remove it, so afterwards when I woke up I had a lot of painkillers. I wasn't in too much pain, just really uncomfortable, had to be helped to like walk to the toilet. And yeah, the next day I got to go home, and I was really happy to be going home. My parents came down because I don't live with my parents, so they came down to visit, brought my dog, and it was really nice to spend some time with them and my boyfriend. But then, I think it was 3 days after coming out, I just started throwing up again. And I wasn't in pain, but I was in like, not as much pain as before, but I was still in pain. And I thought, they didn't really give me much information when I went home about, you know, what to eat, or anything really. So I didn't know if me being in pain was just because of the surgery. And I had a scar like on my belly button and like 3 other incisions. And I just thought it was that. I didn't think much of it. But then I was throwing up constantly, and then I went to bed and threw up in the morning, and I was like, okay, something's not right. So I rang the hospital and they said to come in. Now, again, I thought I'll just pack a bag just in case, go in. I waited in a waiting room 3 days after surgery for 9 hours in a waiting room chair. It was so uncomfortable. So after 9 hours of waiting, I finally got a bed, and it was too late by that time. It was the evening to do any tests, but they were basically wanting to check that there wasn't a loose gallstone in my system in one of the ducts, and they didn't know. And I thought that they would do a scan after the operation. I've read somewhere that that's what they can do to check no stones are loose, but they just had sent me home quite early and I was back, and they did some bloods and they weren't looking good, and they were basically gonna put a camera down my throat into my stomach to see what was going on. And I was freaking out because you have to be awake for that one. So I was freaking out, and all the nurses weren't exactly brilliant to me. I have mental health problems and need mental health medication, and I hadn't brought it with me because I didn't think I was staying the night. And yeah, they were just having problems getting that to me. They were being rude to me, and by this point I was really anxious and really not okay, but they just had no understanding of mental health problems, so it was really, really hard. But I did make a really lovely friend in hospital. The woman next to me, she was lovely and she really got me through it. So, oh, bless you. So yeah, that was the next few days. I think it was a couple days. Felt like forever, but it was only a couple days I was in hospital. And they basically didn't end up doing the camera thing. They just did another ultrasound and they couldn't see anything. So yeah, they sent me home, but I had a massive anxiety panic attack, and it was just all horrible. And I just wish and hope that no one has to go through that with that kind of treatment. They still didn't really give me any information about diet, and I just left. So yeah, and then I had to take it easy for like 2 weeks. I was really careful that I wasn't eating really fatty foods because I'm not sure how it works. I still need to do more research. So if any of you have had your gallbladder removed, random, but if any of you have had it removed and know exactly what I should be eating, please comment and let me know, because I still don't know exactly what I should be doing. But I was taking it easy, not doing too much exercise, or but walking still. And basically, I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's a bit TMI. But one of the other things that was really painful is they blow up your stomach with gas when they do the operation so they can see the gallbladder. And basically, I just had all this gas in my stomach, and I just couldn't go to the toilet. I couldn't get it out, and that was one of the most painful things after the surgery. But I was taking laxatives and it sorted itself out now, and it's been 3 weeks, I think. So if you've just had the surgery and you're worrying that you're going to be full of gas for months, it does go away and it does sort itself out. But yeah, that was the surgery story over with, and that's like the big thing that's kind of happened. Also, on a more positive note, Kushti, my podcast, is doing really well on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and I also upload it on this channel. If you haven't given it a listen, I would really recommend you do, as I'm quite proud of the first 3 episodes. And yeah, because I have bipolar and complex PTSD, I feel like I'm qualified to talk about it from the person suffering with it kind of perspective, and just give some advice on different skills I've learned, for example in dialectical behaviour therapy and things like that. I want to say thank you to anyone who's listened to that. The latest episode is all about racism and mental health, as I haven't even done a video on here in a while talking about race. I think the last one I did was in 2017, which I've since privated. But I will probably do another video again on race and Black Lives Matter. And I just want to quickly say that there's a charity called Black Minds Matter, who are basically trying to raise money to support black people with a black therapist, which I think is amazing. So I'll leave a link to their charity organisation down below, and I think it's UK based. And then I'll leave some more links to other things, but I will do a full video at some point. And for the book club book, I have Nightingale Point by Luan Goldie, and this is about a working class community. I think it might be set in Glasgow or somewhere, but I don't know too much about this one apart from I think it's been nominated for something, and it was the winner of the Costa Short Story Award 2017. And it's just about a working class community, and something happens and how they all deal with it. So it says, one ordinary day, one extraordinary event, their lives change forever. I'm sorry I'm not giving more details away, but I will do a full video, I think, what I think of this book after I've read it. And I also need to talk about Girl, Woman, Other that I recently finished, as I haven't been reading as much since being in hospital and things. But I will get back on track and I'll film a couple videos, and yeah, let me know what you'd like to see as well. And yeah, that's been my quick little update, and I hope you're all well as can be, and I will see you soon. Love you guys.